Welcome back to the rabbit hole. Last time, we uncovered the many ways that Velka, the goddess of sin, is a massive, overlooked piece of the Dark Souls puzzle. But as always with Dark Souls, the more you dig, the more you realize you don't know shit. So here's the big question. What if Velka is more than just the goddess of sin? What if she is the one guiding the entire story? What if she is the narrator of Dark Souls? And what if, and stay with me here, I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but what if Velka is actually the furtive pygmy? It sounds insane, but let's try to connect the dots. Now here's where things get a little weird. The voice actress for the narrator in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 is the same person, Pygmy Lim. Now, sure, that could just be a casting decision, but in Dark Souls, things don't happen just because.
Look at this dude. No. Wait till you see this.
The narrator isn't just some random storyteller. They speak with authority, with knowledge that seems to stretch across the entire series. And if this is the same voice in both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, that means we're hearing from the same entity at both the beginning and the end of the cycle. So let's say that entity is Velka. What does that mean? Well, if Velka is the narrator, that means she has been guiding us since the very beginning. She's the one who tells us about the Age of Ancients, the rise of the gods, and the coming of the undead. She's also the one who narrates the dying breath of the Age of Fire in Dark Souls 3. Why would Velka be the one telling us all this? Because it's her story. Now, we already know that Velka doesn't fit in with the other gods. She doesn't live in Anor Londo, she isn't mentioned in Gwyn's pantheon, and her followers deal with humanity, dark magic, and judgment. Now let's take that and compare it to the furtive pygmy. The pygmy is the only lord who isn't part of Gwyn's rule. The pygmy found the Dark Soul, the very thing that makes humanity what it is. Then the pygmy vanished from history. Sound familiar? Velka is a god who seems to be working against the gods. She is closely tied to humanity. She is obsessed with judgment and punishment, as if she's waiting for some great reckoning. What if the reason she isn't in Anor Londo is because she was never one of Gwyn's gods in the first place? What if she was the original bearer of the Dark Soul? Now, if Velka were the furtive pygmy, that would mean she is the true creator of humanity. That also means she is the oldest, most powerful force connected to the dark. But there are a few missing pieces we still need to confirm. Number one, we need direct evidence of Velka holding the Dark Soul. So far, there's no item outright stating Velka is connected to the Dark Soul, but her ties to humanity, magic, sin, and punishment make her the closest thing to a god of the dark. Number two, her absence in the Ringed City. If Velka were the pygmy, why don't we see any sign of her in the Ringed City, where the last remnants of the pygmies are trapped? Did she escape? Or is she operating from the shadows? Number three, why she punishes sin. If Velka is the furtive pygmy, why does she judge others? Is she punishing the gods? Is she ensuring only the worthy rise? Or is this part of a bigger plan? Even without these answers, the connections are undeniable. If Velka is the pygmy, then her story isn't about some minor goddess of sin. It's about the one who was wronged from the start. Gwyn stole fire, he feared the dark, and he tried to suppress the pygmy's power. But Velka, playing the long game, could have been guiding every undead champion, every hollowed warrior, every so-called hero to slowly undo what Gwyn built. Option 1. Velka wants the Age of Dark. Gwyn feared humanity's rise, so he burned everything to keep the Age of Fire going. Velka, if she is the pygmy, waited for the right time to let the undead overthrow the gods. She uses her power to ensure the cycle eventually ends in dark. Option 2. Velka wants a third path. Instead of fire or dark, Velka wants something beyond the cycle. She sees both fire and dark as flawed, and she's using us to find a new way. This could explain why she judges sin. Maybe it's her way of deciding who is worthy of escaping the cycle. Either way, this would mean Velka has been here all along, pulling the strings from the shadows. We may never get a clear answer, but if Velka is the narrator, if she is the pygmy, and if she has been shaping the Dark Souls world from the beginning, then she isn't just some forgotten goddess. She's the first god. She is the creator of humanity, and she may be the true final ruler of the Dark Souls universe. So what do you think? Is Velka just a judge of sin, or is she something far greater? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Dark Souls madness, be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, keep them peeled.